Hi, I'm your Pakistani-American friend. I was born an American, but I'm Pakistani by choice. And I spent 20 years working in your country and loved every minute of it. If you saw the movie Charlie Wilson's War, you perhaps saw me, played by Julia Roberts. But that's just part of the story. It's just the end of the story, really, or the end of the story at that time. Because I'm still working for Pakistan and working with Afghanistan to provide a program that will work in any country in the world to help people out of poverty into the middle class and hopefully into the free enterprise system and the whole world economy. Now you are the hope of your country. You are the bridge. You are the bridge between the rich and the poor, the successful, the unsuccessful, Americans, Pakistanis, and all cultures all over the world, because you are the ones who are very special. And one thing I learned about special people is that special people are always nice. They know who they are. They don't have to prove anything. They don't have to brag or any of those unpleasant aspects of personalities, because they are who they are. And they don't have to advertise it. And I think you're that way. So let me talk to you a little bit about what I learned when I was in your country. I was appointed by the first President Bhutto as honorary consul. I was kept on by President Zia. And it was a very interesting scene to see the difference in the two men. I don't know what your political operations are or your thoughts, but I did see that President Zia really cared. And he was in a very difficult position because of the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, because you were very threatened. And he was killed by the Russians. And I know that because the French CIA were the ones asked to investigate his death. And of course they were neither American, Soviet, Pakistani. They were totally just bipartisan. And they said definitely the Russians killed him because he was providing the opportunity for the arms to go into Afghanistan, which protected you. And you wouldn't be where you are today if we hadn't been able to stop the Soviets. Your life would have been very different. So I'm very happy and grateful to all those wonderful people who did care and who did help. So, but what did I learn? Because of course that's what young people want to ask older people. Understanding that no matter how smart you are, there is nothing more important than experience. And I have to tell you that as an American in your country, I made every mistake in the book. I talked like an American, I acted like an American, I dressed like an American, and a lot of times those things didn't exactly fit into the Pakistani culture. But let me tell you about your people. You laughed with me. And I think you just kind of assumed that I was caring enough, and you just forgave me. And maybe that's kind of a lesson for the whole world. Every culture is different. And we really can't change each other. We can simply try to understand each other. And just remember, really, the world is like a bouquet of flowers. Think how pretty a bouquet is when it's mixed. Different colors, different shapes, different sizes, different fragrances even. And how interesting that is. So that's the way I look at the world. You and I may not understand our cultures, our religions, or any of those things, but we can all live together, learning from each other, and having fun doing it. So what did I do before we were involved with the Soviets? When I came to your country, I didn't know anything. As I said, nothing about your culture or your people or anything. But I thought, what can I give these people that they don't have? And at the time, you needed money. So I thought, how can I help give money or get money for the poor? And I learned that there are lots of smart, fine people among the poor, but they have had no opportunity. And interestingly enough, what I learned was statistically proven by New York University. They did a study on 63 years of the world trying to alleviate poverty. Have we done it? No. And they tried to determine why. And the reason was that poverty cannot be eliminated, nor can it be given, as in other words, just giving money to a country isn't the answer. You have to help them have 5 things, and they have to have them simultaneously. And that is enough food, clean water, education, minimum health care, but some, and jobs. Because if you're hungry and you're sick from dysentery or some illness from bad water, you can't learn, and you can't work, and you can't really do anything but just try to survive. So it's very important to have those 2 things. Then you can learn, and we provided schools, we provided the children go in the daytime, parents go at night. Then we provided a clinic. Now in this clinic, we're not trying to give you them big x-rays or MRIs or any of those things. We didn't have that. But we could teach them sanitation, we could give them shots, polio cubes, mosquito nets, and a midwife. So all those things can change a culture overnight. But then in order to sustain those things, they have to have jobs, because it costs money to keep a school going. It costs money to keep a clinic going. And it costs money to plant crops and to clean water. But what we did was to provide half of everything. And we said to the villagers, you can work, you can provide materials, or you can give land. But half of this has to be your responsibility. And that way when we leave, then they own this village, and it's theirs, and it's always going to be theirs, and they earned it. They didn't just get it or hand out. They got it because they earned it, and it belongs to them, and they'll protect it, and they'll rise. This is what's so exciting. Once they learn to do a vocation of some kind, and what I tried to do is utilize the crafts they already know how to do, but take them and make them where they fit in one first in the Pakistani market. They make the things they can sell in their neighborhood. That way they don't have to worry about exports or trucking or any of those things. But the necessities that people need there, like a little stove, repairing a bicycle, weaving rugs, but for the Pakistani or the Afghan market. And this really works. And after they learn to do those things, and they succeed with that, then they can move to bigger things and make things for the whole area, and then for the nation, and then for the world. And as they rise and form a middle class, they do something very important for you, which is they provide a market for your goods and services, and a market that's not going to fluctuate all that much, because the middle class keep going because they work very hard in order to get there and to stay there. And if most of the country were literate and had jobs, think what that would mean. You have the ability to help your people get there. And I haven't met a Pakistani anywhere that hasn't been successful in my culture. I have so many friends in the Pakistani community, and all of them have contributed enormously to living in Houston, Texas, and in the United States. So I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for what you're doing today, grateful for what you're learning. I'm grateful for your friendship. And you are very lucky. You have people like Dr. Ghulam Mustafa, who is a great leader, who can help you. He's been successful in our economy and successful in yours. And he can pass on all that experience to you. And it will be immeasurably important. Now, everything is learned in textbooks, and I know you know that. So this has been fun talking to you. I look forward one day to having the privilege of meeting you. I would love to know about your future. I would love to know about the successes and about what you achieve in this world. God bless you. Thank you. I wish you joy.